Welcome to The Bottom Line. My name is Benjamin Poole.
Gareth Soloway here, baby.
All right, so we've got an exciting episode for you guys today. We're going to talk about Tesla. Wow, what a crazy move up. What, 11 days in a row?
Yeah, then a huge dump and then heading right back up today.
Like nothing ever happened. So we've got a couple stocks that are playing catch up with Tesla, like Lucid. We had some bank earnings this morning.
That's right.
So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So what happened with the market? I mean, we're at all-time highs, right?
Almost, right?
Okay.
So, in fact, let's just jump right into the charts over here. So what we have here, guys, check this out. So this was yesterday's drop. You can see how we almost, by the way, Ben, I just was looking at this now. It almost looks like a little inverse head and shoulders there before the move up today. And look at the move up early this morning. Incredible move, guys. Unbelievable. And then we had this one little pullback right here. I happen to be short the spiders with, this is the S&P, by the way. With the trading room, we got out right down here. I wasn't getting too greedy because on a Friday in the middle of summer, what do we know? We know the market's just, by Friday, everyone's gone by lunch, except for us, apparently.
Yeah.
So anyways, what we're seeing here is the market moving right back up. You do have your double top right up here, so we're not quite there yet, but I got to be honest, this is a pretty impressive reversal back to the upside today. Essentially, I guess all it takes is a 2% drop on the S&P, or NASDAQ, 1% drop on the S&P, and people say, buy the dip.
Yeah, and it looks, to be honest, look at this. Look at this. Actually might not be the end either. I mean,
cup
look
and
at
handle,
cup
maybe?
And handle pattern, right? So it's not the best cup and handle pattern. You still got to break this, but if you start breaking this, man,
that's right.
You could possibly have higher highs to go on the S&P 500.
So anyway, so I think suffice it to say, folks, impressive day. Granted, it's a Friday. The volume is light, true. Today we got PPI data out. It came in hotter than expected, kind of negating a little bit of the CPI data yesterday. But overall, I think at this point, the markets, again, are showing a lot of resilience. And what's interesting about today, too, is that we're seeing the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Russell, as well as the equal weight. Everything is going up today. So it's a wide, broad-based rally, which is unlike what we've seen lately. Remember, yesterday, the Russell was up 3.7%, its biggest move in like a year, 2 years, whatever it's been, while the NASDAQ cratered. But today, everything up. It's all good. Everything's great. World's perfect. No problems. Nothing to see here, folks. I'm going to kick it over to Ben.
Okay, so we're going to go over the Tesla chart. So Tesla, well, like we were talking about earlier this morning, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 updates. And you had a little doji. Then yesterday, we had this huge reversal, this big reversal candle. And it's actually retracing. So if you did a fib extension from the top here to the lows here, then the 50% retrace is actually right at this level of right around $250. And it actually got up to that level right now. It did pre-market reach this gap fill. So you got this gap fill right at 231.30. Pre-market, it did hit that and then had this massive move to the upside. This was an incredible move. I had an upside target. So you've got this inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. And the upside target was right about 244, 245. It hit that and it passed that. Man, this is an epic chart. I still have some potential upside if it decides to continue up. So 277, you've got this pivot top right here. So it could continue to push up and then up a little bit higher. Let me go ahead and zoom out so that way we can see this. Right around 291 is actually a pretty big gap fill. So if Tesla wants to continue up, you've got this 291.17, this gap fill, it's going to be a really big level. So, and then ultimately you got this double top. I don't see it going up there, but if it does, be ready with your entries, and then we're going to short it again.
Heck yeah. All right over here, guys. Take a look at this. Here we got our Celsius chart. There we go. All right. So we were just talking about this before we went live, how Celsius really should be sponsoring us because we drink a lot of that in the office and it doesn't make sense for them not to. I'd be drinking one right now instead of
Dr.
Pepper. All right. In any case, we got a bottoming tail, and this is the daily chart of Celsius. Bottoming tail here, a re-bottoming tail, two bottoming tails actually in the span of about 2 weeks right here. Price is starting to move up. When you get bottoming tails, they're reversal bullish signals. That tells us prices, basically it tells us that buyers are swooping in. It dipped down, buyers were like, boom, right here again. And that's telling you, again, bigger buyers are coming in. So Celsius actually looks good for a continuation next week to the upside. In addition, just look at this trend line right here, right? So if we zoom out and we take this trend line and we connect it from this pivot high right down, Look at this right there. So again, I love having the confluence of factors. You got your bottoming tails, but you also got this right through here, right to here, and right to here. This should go back up right to here. I'm looking at a target of around $67 to $68, maybe even doable for next week. But again, I like Celsius here. All right, Ben, back to you, buddy. What do you got?
So I've got Lucid. So Lucid was a continuation play, right? So you got Tesla, they had robo-taxis that were supposed to be launched, and then yesterday it was going to be delayed. So that's what caused it. Well, Lucid is also a manufacturer of smart vehicles. What are they called? Hybrids. Electric vehicles.
EVs.
There we go. Electric vehicles. Oh my gosh.
It's Friday.
So I had an upside target right here on Lucid, but it actually pushed up way higher than that. So you can see, kind of similar to the Tesla chart, we've got this double bottom pattern right here, kind of inverse head and shoulders. Now this is a really wonky inverse head and shoulders pattern, so it's not super valid. However, if you draw this trend line, connect these pivots right here, it broke out. Here was your upside move, right about $4.17. So I think for now, at least in the short term, this is probably the max upside. If it does start to consolidate a little bit more, you can get up to this $4.67 level, because you've got this big red bar candle right here. It's going to provide a lot of resistance on the chart for Lucid. So I would be a buyer, possibly if it retraced to the $3.70 mark. But ultimately, if it gets back down to $3, I will be picking up a bunch of shares because with this kind of a move, you expect to retrace the scene of the crime and then ultimately move higher, especially if we can get Tesla to continue moving higher as well.
Awesome. All right, one more chart here from me. Check this out, Cardano. We got Cardano here. We had this big pivot over here. We drag it across right through these lows right here, and look at where we just bottomed out. I love the relative strength on Cardano right now. Again, we're in this in smart money crypto, so it's having a good push for us. We're well in the money, but look at what we've seen here. So this is 4 days, 2, 4, 5 days to the upside. It is coming into minor resistance right here, so that's going to be a little bit of resistance, but the idea here is this was a former wedge pattern. So you had this low, this low, this low, this low, these highs right through here, right? So the idea is that is now resistance over here. So my guess is Cardano's going to push through, but it's going to run into a lot of resistance around 46 cents, give or take, maybe 47 cents. But obviously, what I love about this is the relative strength. So if you look at Bitcoin, it's been struggling. If you look at Ethereum, it's been struggling recently. But Cardano's actually the one lighting the fire here. So I think this continues up, maybe stalls here for a day or two, and then pushes through. Look for 46 to 47 cents.
Yeah, well, I was going to notice that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe a couple more days, it could push up to that 46. Yeah.
With a time count?
Yep, time count, and then you get a reversal. So it could actually be a shorting opportunity as well, right? And so if a time count with a down-slipping trend line, if you couple that with additional resistance levels, you got this pivot low right here, you've got these highs right here. Lots of price action, give me tons of resistance in that area, so you could actually pick this up for a short as well.
Nice, I love it.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
so I've got Bitcoin. I'm just gonna go over it real quick. I did put this out as for last night. It wasn't an actual trade, but it was a trade setup possibility. You've got this trend line right here. This is a beautiful down-slipping trend line. So you're gonna connect these pivot lows right here, and it kissed it right here as well. So for me, you drag this up and you connect it with these pivot highs right here. All this price action. Right now, that Bitcoin is bouncing on support. Basically, this pivot low right here is where it bottomed. It came back up and actually started recapturing this. So now this is additional support. So you've got this down-slipping trend line right here that it's going to come up against. If it can push through here, then you've got the midline of Bitcoin, of this parallel channel, right around $61,000 is going to be your next resistance. If you can get a break above this down-slipping trend line, maybe get a retrace, then you can see further upside. I even have an upside target of around $68,000. It's the upside of this parallel channel. So I'm really liking the price action of Bitcoin. Obviously, it's got to break this wedge pattern for an ultimate move, either up or down, but I see further upside.
Nice.
if it breaks.
All right, I got one more to go over.
so you
I
got
just
one more.
yeah, because I was just thinking about this one, and I love this chart here. This is the Global X Lithium and Battery Tech ETF. This was one of the hottest ETFs when Tesla was just rocking it, and it actually has been crushed. If we zoom out on this, look at this chart. Right, I mean, look at that. So this is back. Notice again, back here, this is 2021 when Tesla was at its all-time highs. But what do we know about Tesla? Tesla's been ripping. It's up almost 100% off of its lows, yet this ETF is still just at the lows or just off of these lows. So the idea here is probably a little bit more upside on LIT in the coming days or weeks here, at least back to this, kind of like Cardano, right? Same kind of function. Here you got your wedge pattern, and the idea is you head up into this range right here, then you get a pullback. But I like this LIT is the symbol on this. It's the Lithium and Battery Technology ETF.
Awesome.
You have anything else?
Whew, no, that's
let's
it.
come to the center.
Okay.
Let's center it.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys watching. We have a lot of fun on these.
Yeah.
Thanks for your feedback and your comments. We really appreciate it. Please understand that this is for education and informational purposes only. Please do your own research, unless of course we are correct with the trade, and then it was
great
advice.
advice.
It was great advice, you know. But thank you guys again, and we'll see you.
And that's the bottom line.
Take care.